Hey everyone, Nick here, and today we're going to take a look at the Samsung Note 20 Ultra. With its eye-watering 108 megapixel camera, we're going to see how it compares against a professional photo camera and a professional video camera. Now on paper, the Note 20 Ultra has the pro camera's beat, with the Note 20 Ultra having more megapixels than the stills camera, and while the professional video camera records in 4K, the Note 20 Ultra records at a mind-boggling 8K. But we'll dive into that and more in just a minute. First, I want to be fully transparent with you and let you know that I did personally pay for this phone, and my review is of my own opinion. And with that said, check in the description below because typically these Samsung phones find their way on sale, and there you'll find the best and most current price available. And also, be sure to subscribe so that way you don't miss out on any future videos, including my review of the Google Pixel 4a's camera. With that out of the way, let's get started. So first up, just a quick overview of the Note 20 Ultra. Now this isn't a review video since there are so many review videos of the Note 20 Ultra. This is just more of a deep dive into the camera of the phone. Now with that said, the Note 20 Ultra is an amazing phone with specs dressed to kill. This phone has pretty much every feature you could think of and probably a few you didn't. And personally, I kind of find that all really overwhelming since there are so many features that I know I'll never use or ever even probably take a look at. But I know some of you will enjoy having a phone with a trick always up its sleeve. Here's a quick look at the specs, but we're not gonna spend too much time on them since I bet most of you are already familiar with the specs for this phone. So first up, we will compare the video features of the Note 20 Ultra to a Canon C200. Now the Note 20 Ultra has several video modes, with the highlight feature being the 8K video. And for people who like to have a little bit more control over their videos, there is a Pro Video mode, where you can dial in your ISO, shutter, and white balance. Now the Pro Video mode doesn't allow you to change what lens you're shooting on. In fact, the only way you can shoot video on the wide-angle lens or telephoto lens is if you are shooting in the regular video mode. And the Pro mode is the only way you can record in 24 frames per second unless you're recording in 8K, which is only available in 24 frames per second. There are a lot of weird quirks to the video shooting modes of this phone, and we'll take a look at all of them. But first, let's start with a crowd pleaser, slow motion. So the Note 20 Ultra has two slow motion modes, regular slow motion and super slow motion. So the super slow motion lets you record 1 second of video and slows it down 30 times, which is incredibly slow at 960 frames per second. But the quality isn't there. It's fun to have, but I wouldn't overuse it. Now the regular slow motion is higher quality, but not as slow as super slow motion. Now our professional video camera only records 120 frames per second in HD. And when you compare it to the Note 20 in its regular slow motion mode, I think it comes pretty close. I mean, to be honest with you, I'm actually really surprised how close these two are. The professional video camera costs like 5 times as much as the Note 20 Ultra, yet I think these two look pretty close. I would just call it a tie. Okay, next up, let's take a look at the 8K of the Note 20 Ultra against the 4K of our professional video camera. When you record in 8K on the Note 20 Ultra, you are limited to 24 frames per second, and you can't use the built-in stabilizer. You also can only use the normal lens. You can't use the wide angle or the telephoto lens. Now our professional video camera can record what's called RAW 4K video, which allows for higher quality and more control for color correction. So starting with the 8K from the Note 20 Ultra, I have to say the detail is definitely there. And to get that kind of quality from a cell phone, I mean, why did I spend so much money on a professional video camera? I mean, the 8K honestly blows me away. The colors look great. Now, if I had to be super picky, I would say that maybe the sharpening is a bit high, but we're talking super picky. Now let's compare the shot from our Note 20 to a professional video camera. And I gotta say, once again, the Note 20 is keeping up. I don't understand how they're able to get so much quality from just a cell phone. Once again, don't understand why I spent so much money on a pro video camera. For me, they seem surprisingly close. I just wish you could use the wide angle lens or the stabilization feature when recording in 8K. And speaking of stabilization, when you're recording the regular video modes and you have the stabilization on, I gotta say, it made me feel like a Hollywood cameraman. And built-in stabilization is something missing from most professional video cameras, so this is a big win for the Note 20 Ultra. I hope nobody's keeping score at this point because things aren't looking good for the professional cameras. It's just too early to be this depressed. All right, let's just take a look at the Note 20 Ultra against the professional stills camera. The Note 20 Ultra wins the spec war here as well with its 108 megapixel camera, whereas our professional photo camera is only 30 megapixels. Let's see if the specs speak for themselves. So diving in, let's start with some astrophotography. The Note 20 Ultra has a night shot mode, which allows you to basically see in the dark. And for this shot, I used a tripod to make sure that the phone stayed as still as possible. If I were to do it with my hand, the shot would have came out blurry. So I'll leave a link in the description below for anyone interested if they want to do some night shots of their own. But looking at the night shot from the Note, I would say it's a very good shot, even compared to the Pixel 4 XL's night sight. But compared to our professional photo camera, the camera has more stars and more detail than the Note 20, which is finally a win for our professional cameras. Now, with that said, these are pretty freaking close. If it was possible for the Note 20 Ultra to take a 108 megapixel night shot, I would say it would probably win. And taking a look at low light photography, the Note 20 Ultra takes excellent low light shots, and I would even say better than the Pixel 4 XL. Now comparing the Note 20 Ultra to our professional photo camera, I would say once again it's very close. But I would give the slight edge to the Note 20, if only because of the detail from the 108 megapixels. But with that said, the 108 megapixels isn't always the best option. Sometimes the wide-angle lens would give me a better shot when compared to the 108 megapixel shot. If this phone could shoot 108 megapixels in the wide-angle lens, this might be my favorite camera ever. But that isn't to say that the 108 megapixels always blows the professional camera out of the water. Even at 30 megapixels, the Pro camera keeps up just fine with the Note 20 Ultra. Overall, I think the Note 20 Ultra did an amazing job keeping up with the competition. I mean, these are professional cameras made for doing one thing and doing the one thing really well. Yet there was the Note 20 Ultra keeping up every step of the way. And that's what I find so amazing about this phone, is that it can take great photos and great videos and do all these other amazing things. Now let me know what you think down in the comments below. Was there something that I missed? Do you think the Note 20 Ultra blew the competition out of the water? And also, be sure to like and subscribe if you enjoyed this video. It really helps me out a lot. And with that said, I'll see you in the next one.